And we came here to climb Mt Elbert, which is the second highest mountain in the lower 48 states and highest mountain in Colorado. The first section of the mountain was in the woods, and it was a really simple climb where the altitude was tough, but that was the only difficult part of it.
It didn't seem like too challenging at first. I was like, okay, this is gonna be easy. We had like some flat tracks, and I was like, okay, I don't know why they're like thinking this is gonna be super hard, like whatever. And then there were some steep moments, and I was like, okay, it's not that bad. And then suddenly it kept getting worse, and then the altitude started hitting me, and I was like, oh, started to feel some nausea.
At about 2,000 feet into the climb, you come out of the tree line, and it just was exposed mountainside, and the wind was insane. It was probably 40 or 50 miles an hour, maybe 60 miles an hour, and freezing cold. I think the temperature was like 35 degrees. I was not expecting this. Yeah, that got really bad.
You know the song by The Weeknd? I can't feel my face. How's it going for you?
It was pretty good. And then we got above the tree line.
Yeah.
And it's very windy.
Yeah.
And I stopped to eat some stuff.
And he was wearing shorts for a second.
I was definitely wearing shorts. I can't speak. I was expecting it to be pretty cold, and I was expecting it to be windy, but that first like few hundred yards out of the tree line was kind of a little bit of a shock. A few hundred yards in, we like hunkered down by a rock to try to get some shelter, and at that point I don't think we were feeling very optimistic.
I would like to only climb Whitney from now on.
Hey babe, on a scale of 0 to 10, likelihood of us summiting?
Oh dear. 7.5. 7.5 right now. Don't ask me right now, I'm cold, so I don't have a lot of positive anything.
Where are you at numerically?
Well, you're literally shaking.
Yeah.
Honestly, numerically I'm at like a 2. But like I want to, like the competition inside of me wants to be like a 10. And I want to summit to be
I'm definitely at like a 6.5.
You're like,
Anna says 35 degrees. It was definitely not 35 degrees. It was like 25 degrees. Will gave me his coat. Anna gave me her gloves. Anna gave me her bandana. I was like wearing everyone's stuff to stay warm, and I was still like freezing. I think it got to the point where it was more like mentally challenging. It just kept going in and out of these cycles of like, okay, this will be easy. Okay, this is impossible. I want to turn around. No, we're almost there. Let's just keep going. We'll get to the top.
Where are we at? How you doing?
Whew, I don't know where we're at. I'm feeling better and better. The wind is insane. We're probably maybe halfway, maybe. It's not looking great, but if we could stay warm, I'm feeling really good.
if we could stay warm, that's the main
That's
issue.
the thing, yeah. It's like,
I've already got his coat, your gloves.
right, it's probably like 30 degrees or less.
No,
and the wind is...
no. It's gotta be 25 with a wind chill of like 16. My butt is numb. My hands feel better, but they're still numb. My ankles are freezing.
Let's walk up behind this. It looks like we might be behind the hill over here. So the weeks leading up to this, the weather has been really warm and hot. It's been really hot. So I was looking at like trail conditions and all that stuff leading up to this trip, and all the trail conditions were like 70s, 80s. We're in a tank top for most of the climb, and then you like put on a jacket at the top for like 40 degrees.
That is nice.
But the forecasted temperatures were lower than they had been, but still not very low. So we didn't actually bring a whole lot of cold weather gear.
I got alpaca socks. We'll get them for Christmas.
I have ankle socks and breathable tennis shoes.
Oh, babes.
I'm doing good though. Mostly I just feel a little
My
bit
toes are falling off, but I'm doing good.
like the altitude mostly. I'm like, I literally train every single day. And here I am like,
my body.
I really do feel like I'm in my element on mountains. That's good.
1 to 10, chance of making the summit.
8,
Where were you when we stopped for breakfast?
2,
And where were you when we were in the trees?
6.
I'm feeling way better now,
we have to
but
do it.
less expectant, to be honest. I was like mentally counting on it getting better, and I think it's gonna not get better.
The temperatures were like on the edge there, where if you got out past where you could physically get yourself out, you were in real danger. If you could like continue moving, it was okay. It was that edge where it's really dangerous. If you like turn an ankle or for some reason can't keep going because you get really bad altitude sickness, you'll probably lose your fingers.
We've only come across one person who has successfully summited, and they were wearing metallic pants, which makes me think they do this every weekend. And everybody else has turned around because they're saying it's like 100-mile-an-hour winds on the last stretch.
We're standing on the downwind side of the rock, and it's still whistling through here. It's about 20 degrees colder than initially forecasted, and it was supposed to be like 15-mile-an-hour winds. I bet it's 50, 65-mile-an-hour winds most of the time out here. And almost the entire hike is on the exposed side of the mountain.
I feel amazing.
Summit today or no?
I'm not gonna summit today. Our first non-summit trip.
I feel like we did everything, all of our part of it, and I think the realistic choice is to call it right now.
We've got frozen fingers and inadequate gear, and we think wise choices would be to turn around.
I think we physically could have gone to the summit. We could have made it to the summit, but the issue at that point was deciding whether or not that was extending too far to be able to get safely back. Because we then still had to go several miles back to the tree line, and the tree line was your first like guaranteed shelter. I was actually pleased with how much I didn't feel like we were affected by the altitude. We definitely felt the altitude, but the altitude was not the reason we needed to turn around. It just ended up being the weather was colder, the weather was windier than it was forecasted to be and what we were prepared for, and we kind of reached the limit of what our resources can handle.
This is so good.
Oh,
Tastes like
my
a
bad.
peanut butter cup, but it's protein-ish.
As soon as we agreed that we would go back down, I was kind of like, I felt really bad because personally, like, I love a good challenge. I'm very goal-oriented. I was like, yes, this is gonna be amazing. We're gonna climb the mountain.
I did not feel sad about not making the summit. I felt a little bit worried that other people would feel sad. I wasn't sure if Will was going to be disappointed about it. But it absolutely felt like the right thing and the wise thing and the safe thing. And as soon as we turned around, I felt like totally peaceful about it and really happy about how far we'd come and what we'd done. I think it would have been really, really foolish of us to keep going.
I don't really feel disappointed by it. This has been an amazing trip. I would have come out to Colorado just to hang out in Breckenridge or something like that, and so to have had an aggressive hike and seen all these beautiful views, it does everything except the logistical summit picture. So I'm honestly pleased with it as an experience. Also, breakfast burritos. Pleased with that experience as well.
It feels like a job that's incomplete. And it's nice to be able to like complete a job and tie it with a bow and be done.
Not sad. I'm excited for coming back and doing it again.